Hello, gentle viewers. This is Al Guardian, welcoming you to Draft Day Sports Pro Football 2022. Not out of the park baseball, which is actually what I just tried to say. Oh dear. Um, in our last season, we went 9-8. Certainly respectable, but not as good as it ought to have been. But a couple of you had some really good recommendations for some settings I ought to consider. That's all fine. Financials. Percent of salary. So a couple of people. So one thing I definitely want to do across the board is I want to increase minimum salaries. We're gonna make quarterback, the cheapest you can get is $2 million. Running back $1 million. Fullback, kicker, and punter can say $500,000 because those positions aren't as important. 1.5 for all offensive linemen. We'll say $1 million for a tight end. Oh, literally does it by one. Okay. Wide receivers should also be $1 million. Corners, definitely the 1.5 million. I'm gonna set defensive linebackers to 1 million. Defensive tackles should be 1 million, but I think defensive ends should be 2 million. I'm loosely basing this off the average salary, but this should basically make it harder for us to just sign any player that we want. Free safety and strong safety can each be 1 million. There we go. The other thing someone had mentioned is that they thought that 45 million was too high for a quarterback. Now, I definitely agree that in real life, it's actually higher in real life, to be honest with you. Josh Allen is making about 45 million a year. Patrick Mahomes is pretty close to that. So yeah. I wish there was a way to set it up as a percentage of the cap, because I read a really interesting article the other day that basically said that, I'll say my settings so I don't forget. What was I going to say? In one ear, not the other, my friends. That a quarterback should typically cost between the very best top tier quarterback between 13 and 15% of the cap. But you can't do that in this game, unfortunately. So basically what this commenter had been pointing out, which is a very good thing to point out, and I hope my raising the minimum salaries will help some. Actually, you know what? Let's make minimum for quarterback 3 million. I think that's reasonable. These are all below the average salary. I'm looking to see if anyone else has a really big average salary. You know what? Tackles, centers, and guards all probably deserve to be 2 million. Because really, the game of football is won and lost in the trenches, and if you don't have the very best, then there we go. So that'll be good. Let's go ahead and hit save settings again so I don't forget. Oh, the championship is just called championship. No, it's not. There we go. Okay. Advanced settings. Okay. This is all fine. I don't really feel like there's any need to make any changes there. But anyway, so basically the problem is that teams spend way too much money just on quarterbacks because so many quarterbacks are considered star level or higher. And what that means is that teams will often find themselves spending so much money on quarterbacks they can't afford to spend anything else under the cap. That's fair, but I don't think it's a big enough deal for me to mess with it right now, but I will keep a close eye on that. And you do the same, my friends, and let me know if you're noticing anything of note. Let's go up to 1.5 million. There we go. But I'm hoping raising the minimums will also make it harder for people to just jump in and get like ridiculous players for ridiculous amounts of money. I could plug these ranges maybe, and I might do that later on, but for right now, I'm just going to save what we've got. The other change I wanted to make, and I don't know if I can, I edit a franchise? Team info. Here we go. Boom. There we go. Okay, then we're going to go right back to Cleveland because that's what I really care about. Okay. So, let us, my dear friends, see what we can do to make our team better. We're going to complete the season start. Not much really happens then. Now I get to decide. Okay, so we're picking 16th. Alright, that's going to be helpful. Okay, Harrison Bryant and Jedrick Wills don't need to be mentored anymore. Brilliant. How are we on finances right now? Before I make any decisions about like coaching or anything like that. Interesting. Only one team is over the cap, the 49ers. Although the Chiefs are quite close, as are the Colts. Other teams have a lot more cap space available, but we still have a decent amount. I don't really know what any of these numbers mean, to be honest with you. If I look at the Browns... Okay. I'm not going to make any big cap moves yet, but we're definitely going to have some interesting decisions to make this offseason for sure. So let's go ahead and go to staff signing. I have to remind myself where I can do that. Oh, it's under staff, that's right. So right now, we have some pretty mediocre coaches. I mean, I'm a pretty terrible general manager, but I'm hoping I can eventually get better. who do we have that actually looks like a really great coach? Are there any really, really good coaches? No, there's a few 3 stars, but this is really not a great market to be getting into and signing a new coach. Let's look at candidates for offensive coordinators and defense. Are there any 3.5 or 4-star people? There really aren't. So I think we're just going to go ahead and skip this part. I don't see any real reason here. You know what I bet it is? I bet that whatever we don't have here goes to scouting. So we're currently looking at 19 million. Let me take a guess. I bet I have exactly 1 million devoted to scouting. Boom. There we go. So there is something to be said for firing somebody that's pretty expensive. But for right now, I don't really feel like that's the right call. So we're just going to go ahead and skip through staff signing because we're not going to bother with that. Unless somebody signs with one of our coaches, which I doubt they will. None of the coaches are real. Okay, so there are some restricted free agents we need to think about. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Alright, gentle viewers. So, let's talk about restricted free agency. Restricted free agency happens in the NFL when players have a certain amount of time left on their original contract. If you have a player in that situation, you get the opportunity to either offer them what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, I'm having a major brain fart right now. You either offer them a tender for a particular draft pick, which will then allow you to match any offer anyone else gives them, or you let them walk. Now, I don't know if it's just that the modern NFL doesn't have very many restricted free agents, or that, quite frankly, the game is glitched and doesn't generate any, but I've never seen a restricted free agency, and I've probably played about 10 to 15 seasons here. Oh. Fred Noonan has abandoned us, which is unfortunate because now we can't hire anyone else to cover him. Instead, we get a randomly generated dude, in this case, James Keith. He's volatile, he is aggressive, he likes a power offense. I see. This does give us more money for scouting, so it's not a total loss, but let's go ahead and check free agency. Yes, I know. Where is the... So yeah, you'll notice here that there are no restricted free agents. On my team. And that's pretty common. Both because they tend to sign people that might be restricted free agents, but also just because there's just not much to worry about there. So it's going to go ahead and complete the stage. And complete the stage. So we're now in proper free agency. And this is a good time to take a moment, take stock of our situation, and decide who we want to bring back. And where we need to upgrade. First of all, our offensive line is good, not great, but very good. Our wide receivers are garbage. If we're going to make this team more competitive and have a chance to get to the playoffs, we need a new wide receiver, a better wide receiver. And there's a couple ways we can do that. One, we can obviously sign one in free agency. Two, we can draft one in the draft. And I think I'm going to do both in all actuality. But let's look at the defense now, because I feel like things won't look so rosy here. So yeah, we are badly hemorrhaging linebackers. We have one outstanding one in Awusa Koromoa, and then a bunch that are all basically interchangeable. We have a great corner, 3 okay corners, a great safety, and an okay safety. I'm going to really quickly let my defensive coordinator set this chart just because I want a chance to see what we actually need to fill holes. Yeah, we definitely need a lot of help in a lot of places. Like, we're to the point where if we ever played a second middle linebacker, it would be our strong safety. That's obviously not great. So, we really need everything. We have two genuine playmakers on defense. 3. No. 5. Final answer. John Johnson, Owusu Koramoah, Denzel Ward, Myles Garrett, and Jadeveon Clowney. Those 5 men are the core of a great defense, but we need a lot more mid-range talent. We need better linebackers, for one. And in particular, I'd like a second corner that was 80 or above. Now, it's entirely possible that they have a great training camp and Greg Newsome or Greedy Williams comes out as an 80. So maybe corner isn't somewhere we need to necessarily spend a bunch of resources. Nonetheless, it is something we do need to address. We also need a punter. And a punter is relatively hard to acquire. So I might go a little big on a punter if there is one that's available. Okay. So right away I see something I would very much like to add to my team. 1, Harold Landry. So we look at his statistics last season. He had 139 tackles. 13 tackles for a loss, including 2 sacks and 3 picks. He was targeted 69 times, allowed 44 catches. That's obviously not great, but only 7 missed tackles is pretty fantastic. If we look at his profile, he is very good at tackling and very, very fast. He'd be pretty much an ideal outside linebacker. I think he would be pretty awesome. Awesome to the max. He's an agreeable jock. He's a speed rusher. Yeah, I like him a lot. He's also young. Harold Landry, come play for me. Become a Cleveland Brown, good sir. So what I need to do is I need to click on his name, and then over here, I can offer him a contract. He wants a whole lot of money. If I'm getting a 27-year-old 90 linebacker, I'm going to make him a starter, and I want him for at least 4 years. I also want to front load it, but just a little bit. Now, this may be the only free agent I sign, but we might be able to find some really outstanding backups if we're lucky. So let's go ahead and submit this offer. And right now, he's not sure. He doesn't know whether we like our offer or not. That's fine. If I can't get Harold Landry, I'll probably get a little bit more aggressive about Dante Hightower, but I'm not that over the moon about that. Carlton Davis wants a little bit too much money. Okay, there are no great wide receivers available. I mean, there's Juju Smith-Schuster. How did you do last year? You were targeted 144 times. And you got 56 catches, I assume. That's not a great catch rate. 625 yards and a touchdown. You averaged 3 catches a game and 36 yards a game, and got 36 first downs. I have no desire to sign you, if that's what you're offering me. I can get a decent wide receiver for a lot cheaper. Demarcus Robinson. Much better catch rate. It looks like you just weren't used very well with Kansas City. Interesting. The draft may be where we find our wide receiver. I'd also pay big money for a big-time defensive tackle, but there just isn't one. I mean, we're getting down to someone like a Linval Joseph. And while he would be an upgrade over my existing defensive tackles, I don't know if it's worth spending a bunch of money on him. Let's complete today, and let's see if Landry signs. Oh, there goes Linval Joseph, Antonio Brown, Cordarrelle Patterson, Akeem Hicks, and Rob Gronkowski. Okay. If I go to bid on free agents. So the Texans are offering a little bit more money. Then let's increase your base salary to $19 million. And I never thought to do this yet. It's something I need to get better about, though. We're paying him a lot of money, but he definitely deserves it as a young, extremely talented linebacker. So let's complete today. There goes... What? Landry, you coward. You're an asshole, Landry. Man, I was going to make you a megastar, and you screwed me over. Them's the breaks, though, my friends. Them's the breaks. Let's talk to Dante Hightower. I think 4 years is a lot to spend on you, but I like that the contract is really heavily front-loaded. I will just offer him this. And... let me also offer a decent contract to Rashaan Evans as well. And let's complete a day. Really, Broncos? You garbage. Oh my god, everyone is just completely destroying me in free agency. I don't love that you're never given a chance to counteroffer. If you don't overwhelm them, they just instantly jump to another team, which is whatever. Give me Devondre Campbell and Anthony Barr. I'm really getting to the point where I'm not getting what I want, but I'm having to take what I can get. Stephon Gilmore, let's see how things look a bit later on, and we'll go from there. Complete day. See, this keeps happening, and it's really frustrating that I'm not even getting a chance to sign the players I want, because what happens is they just instantly give up. I basically have to guess what players want. So I did grab Gilmore. I will offer for Carlton Davis III, and because I do want him somewhat badly, let's go and offer him $17 million. And let's make that front-loaded. They might push me over the cap. I'm fine with that. I've got people I can move around to make some extra cash if I need to. But I need to upgrade my defense. That's That's non-negotiable. I have to make my defense better somehow. Bengals, you're just fucking trolling me at this point. You're literally signing every player that I'm offering. Okay. So that means we got literally nobody we asked for in free agency. We got nobody. So I'm not happy about that. I'm actually kind of salty about it. But I still have 25 million in cap status. And that means I could consider making a trade or adding in some talent, some non-conventional ways. Okay, we have some draft sleepers. I didn't get a punter. Yeah, fuck you, Bengals. Just go to hell, each and every one of you. Okay, so the draft is going to clearly be where we're going to have to make our gains. So let's do some scouting. I have 510 scouting points. So what we're going to do is we're going to identify the areas we most need great players in. We're not going to get a top 10 player. We don't have a top 10 pick. We should therefore assume that we're not going to get them. Now, I strongly believe in building an NFL team at the lines, the offensive line and the defensive line. I'm pretty happy with our offensive line. I'm pretty happy with that. But I'm not as happy about my defensive line. So I think the defensive tackle position is going to be one we're going to spend a lot of scouting points on. So let's start looking at DTs. And what we're going to do is we're going to interview. So real quickly, if you interview a player, you get to find out about his personality. If you scout the player, you get a more detailed description of him and what he does. He's a gentle baller. So, I would very much like to scout as many defensive tackles as we can. So you notice, you click on a checkbox, you spend some points. We're going to scout every single defensive tackle in this draft beyond the top 10 because they're just not going to fall to me, I don't think. Okay, that spent almost 200 points, but we desperately need the best defensive tackles we can get our hands on. We're also going to quickly check our email and see if anybody recommended a defensive tackle as a sleeper. Nobody did. Okay. The next thing we need is we need better pass catchers. And I'm hoping this is a fairly deep draft for wide receivers. And my goodness, it is not. So I'm going to take a chance on a guy like Terry Lemons because he's 24, which means he might slip farther in the draft. We're going to really focus on these day 2 and day 3 receivers. I think they're going to be really important for us. Okay. And I'm probably going to need 2 receivers. You know, let's go into these as well. Okay. So I've already spent a lot of my points to cover those 2 positions to make sure that we have a pretty good sense of who's going to be available in this draft. I also need to scout linebackers. I'm going to scout all the first-round linebackers pretty heavily. Give me all of the scouting, amigos. Okay. I do need more than one linebacker, but I'll be honest. I think I'm going to look at free agency and try to grab a couple bargain bin linebackers, maybe some cap casualties. Last, I'm going to look for a punter. We do need a punter, so let's get these guys scouted. And I'm actually only at 16 points left. So let's go ahead and take a look at one more linebacker. I A 269-pound linebacker is somebody I would like to get to know a little bit better. And let us also interview a corner, maybe? Okay, Jeffrey Davis is freaking huge for a cornerback. So is Daryl Sharp, but I don't think Daryl Sharp is going to make it to me. So we're going to interview him. I can interview one more person. Let's go and interview Daryl Sharp. There we go. And that concludes our scouting. 1 point is worth nothing to us, so let's go ahead and complete scouting. Okay. Now, they only mock draft the top 10 picks. And I'm not a top 10 pick. I'm going to make sure the sound is off. Because the sound for the... There we go. Mute sounds. And then let's go ahead and close the menu. And we're going to go to the draft. Okay, and we're going to go to the next team and pick. All right. So, in order to actually pick, we're going to go to the war room. Our offensive coordinator wants us to grab a wide receiver, and our head coach and defensive coordinator both want us to grab a linebacker. So let's take a look at Tory Lemons. Tory Lemons really wants money, so that's interesting to know. He's really athletic. He's got decent hands, okay speed. He's not, like, incredible. Good speed to create separation, and he can change directions easily. That's interesting. Okay. Lemons might be a good pick. I'm going to pause the draft just because I can, so I don't worry about getting kind of screwed. So, okay. The head coach and the defensive coordinator both really want me to take a linebacker named Jason Estes. Estes is an A physique, A athleticism. He's really smart and good intelligence. Good hands, so I'll make him a good cover linebacker. Not great at tackling, but I'll be honest, I really like what this guy's bringing to the table. I don't like his hair. His hair is stupid, but this is the kind of guy I think we have to go for. I think we have to take this linebacker. Jason Estes, welcome to the Cleveland Browns. Done. And then we're going to go to the next human pick. We are on pick 16 in round 2. Okay. You get this little draft show that you can watch if you want to. So, let us go back to the war room. Two want me to take a free safety. I'm not saying we couldn't use a free safety, but I spent a lot of effort researching linebackers and wide receivers, so I find it hard to believe I'd actually take a free safety. So let's really quickly get all the wide receivers out. Okay. So physically, all these receivers are about the same, with Glenn Hurd being a bit of a chonk. 223 is pretty big for a receiver. But let's start by looking at Brian Durant, who our offensive coordinator likes. Good agility and balance, adjusts well to tackles. Really good hands. Pretty smart, good technique, good athleticism. Doesn't have elite speed, but he has good agility. And to be honest, I'd rather take him. I think he's going to be a good one. So we're going to go ahead and draft Brian Duran. And then to the next human pick we go. Now, I can't help but notice Jeffrey Hancock had a round 2 grade but has fallen to the 3rd round. Which means he's either an incredible deal or he's a bad player. Let's try to find out which. Mr. Hancock has really good hands, really good pass blocking. He's got really good agility, decent speed. I don't know why he's fallen so far, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't get why anybody... Oh, I see he's got some off-the-field issues. You know what, bro? I don't even care, dude. You're an absolute specimen, and I would like you to be a Cleveland Brown, please. Next human pick. Okay. I definitely need another linebacker. And it is what? Is it round 3 or is it round 4 at this point? It is round 4. So let's take a look at some of these lower ranked linebackers. I've got 3 third-round linebackers, and I think one of them is coming to the Cleveland Browns. Let's go ahead and focus only on linebackers right now. There's actually 4 with a round 3 grade that are fallen into the 4th round. So let's start with Abram Davis. Davis has really good strength, and he's got the intangibles. He's very smart. I'm seeing a lot of intangible stuff, but I'm not seeing a lot of his raw ability here. He can bull rush tight ends and fullbacks. That's not that impressive. He's got really bad tackling. I'm gonna check someone else. Thomas Kohler. No, note I didn't interview him. I didn't get a chance to interview these guys. Really sound tackler. Hits ball carriers low, really fast. He does have sea-level speed. They're saying he should be a defensive end. He's way too small for that. If you're under 200 pounds, you're not going to be a very good defensive end. He's clearly a linebacker. So far, my friend, you are my favorite player, but let's keep looking. Peter McLaughlin. Again, another guy who's big on intangibles. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot here that really gets me excited here. And Tony Nieves. Good hands, decent at tackling. He's a C at tackling. What did Kohler have again, do we think? He's an A for tackling, and that's something you can't... The fact he's a great tackler and has lots of good speed and pretty good hands, I think makes him a good choice to be our linebacker. So we're going to go ahead and draft him. And then the next human pick. Okay. So we're getting deeper into the draft. This is a good time to try to get some value. But I just realized we haven't drafted a defensive tackle yet. And I said that was a priority in this draft. And unfortunately, all the really good tackles are gone already. But that's the price you pay, right? You can't have every position every way you want them. I do need a punter. But I'm not going to waste a 5th round pick on a punter unless he's, like, exceptional. You both want me to grab a free safety named Hector Johnson. What is his deal? What makes him so intriguing? He's smart and has good technique, but I'll be honest with you, a lot of his other rankings don't really do it for me. Huh. Maurice Ham. Elite speed, good agility, not great hands. I'm going to take Maurice Ham just because he's so fast, and we're going to see how he works out. It's a bit of a gamble, but I think it's the right gamble. Alright. I have to take a defensive tackle. I have to. I can't come away from this draft with no decent defensive tackle. So let's look at Chuck Brooks here. Really good hands, which is kind of surprising. You don't really expect that from a defensive tackle. And what about Fred Burkholder? Let's go ahead and draft Chuck Brooks and hope for the best. Next human pick. Here's Tony Nieves, who fell to the 7th round. How many people have I drafted already? I've drafted a lot, 2 linebackers, 2 wide receivers, a cornerback, and a defensive tackle. Let's get that punter, I think, if there's a good one available. Mario Perez, welcome to the Cleveland Browns. I really can't be bothered to look for a great punter, so come on down, my friend. Alright, friends, the draft is completed. So now we get a bit more free agency, but let's take a look at our newbies. Let's see how we did in the draft. On people with 0 years experience. Okay, friends, we did a great job with 3 of our picks. Actually, arguably 4, because Mario Perez looks like a great punter. But let's find out what we actually learned about Brian Durant. Mr. Durant has excellent agility and brilliant hands. He's not very fast. But with good agility, he should be a good route runner. He strikes me as almost an ideal slot guy. I think he's going to be a good one. He's a possession receiver. He's a frantic meddler. That's fun. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how he does. I'm really curious to see if he can be the kind of player that we really need at wide receiver. But a good pick. Mr. Hancock, taken in the 3rd round. What do we think about with you? Also not very fast. Yikes. I mean, I'm not going to complain, but he is excellent. This has some off-field issues. I think I'm going to have somebody mentor him to maybe try to get rid of that flag. But other than that, I can live with that. And what does my scouting report of him say? Contract, analysis, history. What kind of player type are you? It doesn't say, actually. Interesting. So, he's another outstanding receiver who's also not very fast. So we're going to have to hopefully get them both on the same page. Jason Estes. I don't love his lack of tackling, But holy shit, is everything else about him exactly what we want? He's really fast, good agility. He's also quite strong. His morale's off the charts. And he really wants playing time. My friend, you're going to get all the playing time you can handle. No doubt about that. And then Mario Perez kicks the ball really far and is reasonably accurate. It's really all you can ask for from a punter. So, what about our other picks? Well, Maurice Ham. We were promised a fast guy, and he is fast. He's a selfish trailblazer. Oh dear. You're not terrible, my guy, but you've also got a long way to go. I really hate your tackling in your hands, though. You're kind of a track star more than you are like a quality cornerback. We might have to think long and hard about what to do with you. Thomas Kohler, there's our sure tackler. Okay speed, not the brightest guy in the league, but he's pretty fast, good speed, or good tackling, and he's got decent endurance. I haven't really talked much about endurance. He might have to be more a rotational guy, but other than that, he's definitely looks like a starter on this team, which is more, frankly, a reflection of how bad the team is right now than how great he is, but nonetheless. And lastly, Chuck Brooks. Chuck is really strong, and that's all we can say about him. Well, look, my friends, we got 4 legit starters out of this draft, and Thomas Kohler on this team is going to see some important reps. That's not, by any means, a bad hit record. At all. So, let's go ahead and start assigning some mentors to people. So, I would like to see all of my mentors. David Njoku, I would like you to mentor one of our young receivers. With some tough love, focus on humility. Hancock. That'll be your job. And then Joel Batonio needs someone to mentor. I didn't take an offensive lineman in this draft, so we're going to try to develop some of the ones we've already got. If I look at guard, I actually need a guard, it looks like, and I need a tackle. You know what? Go ahead and mentor James Hudson III. And let's have you try to teach him his position a bit more. And we'll be encouraging, I guess, and then you'll work on his position. Done. I don't think we have any other mentors. I kind of wish we did, but alas we don't. No, we have Case Keenum. I think we're probably going to try to get a young quarterback in free agency. View position counts. I need another quarterback, another DE, and 2 more safeties. Okay. Well, it's time for some free agency then, my friends. Thanks, gentlemen. Mentor good. I will give you guaranteed starter time if you will agree to join us. And then I kind of don't feel a lot of urgency to sign anybody else here. I mean, how much is Jameis Winston wants way too damn much money. I'm not going to sign him when I can sign a free agency for $3 million. It just doesn't make much sense to me. Bilal Nichols, could I move you inside? I could, and you're a big dude. You know what, Bilal? I'd like to bring you aboard and make you into a DT. Because I desperately need... I'm going to sign you to be a defensive tackle. And I'm going to give you a 3-year deal. And I'm going to submit the offer. Let's make this backloaded. I don't want your cap hit to be quite so high this season because I was going to have to make some moves that I really don't want to make yet. Let's complete the day. Did any of my players sign with me? I don't think they did. Nope. Oh, no, one of them did sign with me. Bilal Nichols signed, but I think we actually got the linebacker. Let's take a look here. A backer of lines. Yeah, we did get Anthony Barr. Okay. That's cool. And I think that's good enough. I'm not really going to mess with any other free agents. We're just going to finish all of them. And now it's time for training camp. So you're all getting the rookie schedule. Baker's going to get the Baker schedule. And let me just quickly remind myself. Yeah, the Baker schedule looks like that. That looks good. Rookie, 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 and rookie. Cool. So let's go through training camp then. Any big Browns changes? For the better. I don't want to hear about it if it's that they got worse. Grant Delpit improved a bit. If we look at his overall, he's now rated 77, which I think he was rated less last season. Check out his progression here. It looks like his hands got better. If we look at our email here, it'll tell us what got better. Yeah. Okay. I can live with that. It is now preseason time, so this is the perfect time to go ahead and grab ourselves some cheap 8 free agents. Although we're right near the cap right now. And the problem is we don't actually have enough players yet. We still need a quarterback, a defensive end, and 2 safeties. And how many players do I have total? I have 46. So I can sign 7 players. So I need to find a player who is playing a position that we're well covered on and that makes a boatload of money. And we're going to try to get a pick for trading him instead of cutting him. Boy, Jarvis Landry sure seems like the guy to cut. I don't really want to punt, though, on Jarvis Landry, but maybe I have to. I don't think we have the wide receivers to let him go, though. I think Austin Hooper is going to be my trade target. All right. So let's go into the trade interface. And let's trade Austin Hooper. I'd love to get a cheap free agent tight end, but I'm sure we can manage that. So we're going to look for a team that needs a tight end. So Austin Hooper. That also has the cap space. Very important. No. No. No, oh dear. No. Cincinnati's over the cap. Fuck you guys. I don't feel a tiny bit bad for you. You know what? Let's look at league finances and let's see who actually has a decent bit of cap space left. Literally no one. So that actually means I can't trade him. I just have to cut him. That is rough, my friends. That is very rough. And I also just increased minimum salaries over pretty much everything, so that's going to be an awfully tough sell to get under the cap. Well, look, in that case, I think I will release Jarvis Landry. No, actually, I will cut Hooper. I'm going to do that for sure. So we're going to do roster and Austin Hooper. Thank you for your time with the Browns, but I can't afford to keep you any longer. You are released. Okay, now let's go to free agency. And let's see if we can grab some quality backups. All right, first things first, I need a quarterback. I don't necessarily want one, but I have to have one. Tyler Hibbert's got a really good arm. And not great accuracy. I'm going to take Doug Collins, and I'm going to sign him to the minimum. Okay, and what else do I need? I need a tight end. Frankly, bringing him back for $1 million makes a lot of sense. He's going to hate me for it. Let's like renegotiate his contract, right? I need a defensive end. Let's grab ourselves Randy Gregory. And then I need a strong safety and a free safety. Joel Gibson. Again, Clyde Newcomb, I guess. There we go. What's that put my roster at right now? 50 players, and I have all the minimums met. I'd like to get a guard and a tackle. But I don't think I can afford both. Like, that would be pretty cheesy to sign Jarvis Landry and then instantly cut him so I can sign him for basically nothing. That feels too cheesy. If I cut Jarvis Landry, I can't sign anyone else. I'm going to self-impose that, because otherwise it seems a bit cheaty, to be honest. Plus, I really don't want to lose Jarvis Landry. That's for sure. So, well, while I'm thinking of this, Case Keenum, let's get you to mentor the young Doug Collins. Be encouraging, teach him about the position. And Doug Collins, there you go. Assigned. Looks like Case Keenum might decide to retire at the end of this season, which is totally fine. I really need a guard and a tackle if I'm really going to feel good about myself. Now, I could sign a bunch of people to the practice squad. I have way too many linebackers again. Let's start doing that. Let's start signing people to the practice squad. Interesting. Okay. Oh, a bunch of people retired. Okay. Let's go back to free agency, though. And let's grab some young dudes and put them on the practice squad. Remember, if they're on the practice squad, they don't actually cost you anything. So that's why I'm trying to find good young players and add them there. Isaiah Oliver, practice squad for you. Chris Barnes, practice squad. Oh no, I think I actually signed him to the actual roster. No, I didn't. It still charged me for his contract, though. The full minimum. What the hell? I didn't ask him to be... Oh, there we go. Yeah, I guess I did have to pay for him. That's unfortunate. Keenum, I can cut you, but I kind of want to keep you because you're a good mentor. Is there anybody that just doesn't play at a very good level that I could cut and save money on? Because I need another tackle and I need another guard. Let's sort by overall, and let's just look and see if there's anybody that's really bad that's really overpaid. I keep coming back to AJ Green, my dude. You cost me too much money. Does that put me under the roster minimums at cornerback, or do I still have plenty? I think I still have plenty. Yeah, okay. Let's grab ourselves a free agent guard. And a free agent tackle. I'm going to pick Jason Mueller because he's a really great run blocker and a pretty decent pass blocker. And he's also only 23. So yeah, I think he's a good value. Let's grab him. I then need to go ahead and clear off another $1 million in salary. And once I've done that, I'll be able to sign the last position player that I really want. Let's sort by overall. Who's the worst person on the team making more than $1 million? You know what, friends? I really don't feel like messing with it right now. So let's just go ahead and see what other positions we might want to sign. So right now, if we look at the roster manager here, I have 3 more spots. Let's go ahead and actually promote you both to the active roster. And then 1.5 million might buy me another DT. Oh, I want a 4th defensive end. I want another defensive end. If I can get one for 1.5 million, then I will. Or maybe it's I can't remember which one I made cheaper, defensive ends or defensive tackles, but let's look at both. Okay, DTs are cheaper. So give me Jonathan Hankins, and that'll be the final player for the Cleveland Browns this season. Depth chart time. Offensive coordinator, let's go ahead and have you set the depth chart. Really, you make Brian Durant the #1 wide receiver over Jarvis Landry? Interesting, but okay. And this all makes perfect sense. Great. Why is Jarvis Landry the #2 receiver over Brian Durant? Is it just because Brian Durant was my first round draft pick and so you think we need to give him more time? Maybe. Let's then go to the defense and let's let our defensive coordinator set it up the way he'd like. Good. Yeah, this looks pretty outstanding. That looks like it's going to be a really solid defensive unit. Estes, I'm counting on a lot from you and also Anthony Barr. To make up for the back, my defense tackle is still not great. I don't know why Hankins isn't playing, though. Like, I'm sure he's going to get plenty of chances to play, but I do find it curious that he's not playing every day, but that's fine. Let's then go to special teams, and let's set this. I guess the head coach can do that. I don't really care. Yeah, you know what? Maurice Ham being a kick punter, punt returner makes a ton of sense because he's really, really fast and isn't a very good cornerback yet. I think that's very wise, and I'm kind of good with that. Well, all right, friendos. Now let's get some preseason games in. So, week 1, the Browns lost, but I don't really mind. That's not really our job. Lost week 2, and won week 3. And it doesn't matter, fuck all, because it's the regular season that matters. Oh, it literally gives the exact same schedule again. I think there's a way to fix that. I just don't remember how. I'll have to figure out how to do that next season, but that's fine. Let's okay. All right, my friends. Let's set up our strategery. OC calls these plays. I like it to be a bit more run heavy. You sure do like your blitzing. Wow, polar opposites. I guess we'll try the heavy blitz because he has so many good linebackers now. Let's do our game planning. So, attitude is fine. Focus should be the run. I think we're still a run-first team. What is happening? Why am I being overridden? What is happening? Why am I just getting overwritten? Do I need to make a new game plan first? Maybe. Okay, now it'll actually keep things the way I want them. Okay, so focus on the run. Passing preference can be fun. Passing target, that can be nice and balanced. The primary receiver should still be Jarvis Landry. I want him to be trusted in when the game's on the line. That's fine. Okay, defense. Let's go aggressive on defense. Let's try to get some takeaways. It's the Chiefs, so I'm really concerned about their ability to pass. Primary coverage can be mixed. Defensive line roll. Let's focus on pass rushing. Linebackers stay in coverage. I want them to beat me on the ground if they're going to beat me. And please target Tyreek Hill. If we can shut him down, that means they have to beat us with like Travis Kelce, and that's, I think, a little bit better. So this is going to be Browns 2023. There we go. How much better are the Cleveland Browns? I have too many linebackers. What the hell? You're lying. Really? So let's look at linebackers then. And if we can find someone to cut, that could save us some money. Let's cut Fields. It's not enough for me to sign a new tackle, but it's not nothing. I'll be running a man short, but that's fine. Okay. So we're going to have some really difficult decisions to make during this season. And namely, who do we want to bring back next year? Because we've got quite a few players who are going to be free agents, and they're all fairly important. But we will cross that bridge when we come to it. For now, let's just go ahead and simulate our first week game now. And we were defeated, but we kept it close. Wait, where is... Oh, man. They didn't even have Patrick Mahomes. A really good day for Baker Mayfield. Durant clearly having a big impact in his first game as a rookie. Austin Hooper and David Njoku got some pretty good stuff there. Lutz did miss a couple of long-distance field goals. That is a bit concerning, but maybe we should have been trying to kick it if it was that far off. How do we do defensively? We sacked him thrice. Malik Jackson, Jadeveon Clowney, and Gregory. I don't even know who Gregory is right now. Oh, he is a depth guy. Tackle leader was Estes, who had 3 for a loss and 2 passes defense. No turnovers. I mean, our kicker makes those 2 50-yard field goals and we win the game. Lutz, do you have a problem with kick distance? You don't. You do have one with accuracy. I'm hoping that you can get better over time. But those are 50-plus kicks. I don't mind if you miss the really long ones. We should be getting in a better position for you to do better damage, so it's fine. Let's look at strategery. Texans, do you still have Deshaun Watson? No, Jimmy Gill is your quarterback. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, then I'm not worried about you passing the ball or running the ball, really. Yes, I know. Game. Let me go back to Cleveland, please. Yeah, I don't really feel threatened at all by their defense. So we're going to go ahead and make it nice, and we're going to make it balanced across the board. And I'm going to go ahead and let everyone just play the position they're best at playing. We're going to key in on Rob Gronkowski. If we can shut him down, I think their entire game is shut down. In my opinion. Here we go here. Baker Mayfield had a great game. So did Clowney. Excellent. A glorious victory, to be sure. Holy shit, Nick Chubb. Mayfield was efficient, though. I know he didn't throw for a ton of yardage, but when Nick Chubb runs for 200 fucking yards, he doesn't need to. Damn, son. Only one sack, though. We're not getting quite as much pressure as I'd like on opposing quarterbacks. Estes, again, Estes looking like a real beast so far. He's definitely looking like he's a keeper. With 3 tackles for loss. Tommy Togiai got her only sack. What is Myles Garrett's deal? Why is he not on the stat sheet? Did he get hurt? Let's quit missing these weird field goals. You should be able to make those. But offensively, this is what we're hoping for pretty much every time we play. We also intercepted. Who got the interception? Grant Delpit. Okay. Garrett has to be hurt because I'm not seeing his name on the stat sheet at all. Yeah, it looks like... Oh dear, Brian Durant's going to miss 2 to 4 weeks. Well, that's unfortunate, but I can't really do much about that. So, what can we do to think about our contracts for next season? Well, I'm glad you asked. I talk about building from the line out, correct? So that would lead you to believe the most important people to bring back are J.C. Treader and Jack Conklin. The problem is Conklin is only an 82 and Treader's only an 81. That's $26 million that I can probably improve upon in free agency or the draft or both. That is problematic. That's a lot of money to be spent on players that aren't that special. Speaking of players who aren't that special, Denzel Ward is number 1 on my list. Let's try to get a contract extension done with you, my friend. Let's get you for 4 years, and let's make it a little bit backloaded. And let's submit you this offer. Let me be very clear. Denzel Ward is not leaving the Cleveland Browns. I'll franchise tag him if I have to. So there we go. Ward is the first person I'm going to bring back. Landry. Oh, dear. Landry wants to get paid like one of the best receivers in the league. I guess I don't argue with him. But holy shit, that's a lot of money to spend on one player that's not a quarterback. So Baker. Baker wants to get paid like a pretty decent quarterback, but not like the best quarterback in human history. This is too much money to commit to you right now, but I am not unhappy with paying you that level of money, provided you can make some improvements this season. Ward is a must keep. Kareem Hunt. Hunt doesn't want that much more money to stay. And when we have him, he's really useful. But we might think long and hard about bringing him back. But I sort by overall, who are the best players whose contracts are coming up? Well, there's also Hooper. Yeah, there's some decent players here, but there's not really anybody that I'm that critical about. The season's about determining once and for all, is Baker Mayfield our guy? If he is not our guy, then we will let him walk. It is also a season to think about trading Kareem Hunt and trying to get a good draft pick out of it. But the problem is that no one has cap room. We look at finances again. Oh no, some people have some cap room. Okay. $49ers. I'd like to make a trade with you. Oh, here's who's on the trade block. Okay, I see. If I offered you Kareem Hunt, would you give me your first round pick? No, that's not even close. Okay. The 49ers do have some really good running backs, so that's fair. Washington has the cap space. How about your first round draft pick for Kareem Hunt? A lot more. What about a second rounder? Nope. Nobody's going to give up a top pick for Kareem Hunt, it looks like. Titans got Derrick Henry. They don't need him. Tim still has Tom Brady, unlike real life. Oh, you know what? That'll put you over the salary cap, so then I can't do that with you. Fuck you, Steelers. I'd never trade with you. Jets, don't matter. The Giants, they're already paying Saquon Barkley a lot. The Saints, they have Alvin Kamara, so they're not likely to want him. The Patriots, I don't really know that I want to make them better, to be honest. You know what? Let's put Kareem Hunt on the trade block. That might be the best solution, and see if anyone comes to us with an offer. Give me the Browns, please. They're the only team that matters. Mr. Hunt, how do I put you on the trade block again? The heck? Oh, that's cool. progression. Wait, it's around here somewhere, isn't it? Lets me edit him. How do I trade you? Oh, you know, I think it's on the actual trade screen, isn't it? Where you can add a player to the trade block. Right? No? Oh, it's in the roster management screen, isn't it? Yeah, here we go. I'm going to put Kareem Hunt on the trade block, and then we'll see if anybody offers and what they offer for him. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you, friends. I'm not really going to mess with the strategy too much anymore. I just don't think it's going to make that big a deal right now. We'll just kind of leave it alone. I will tell them who to target, but we'll worry about that later on, I think. So, Sim Week 3. Holy shit. 5 interceptions of Baker Mayfield. What the hell happened? That was 4... Wow, dude. That was your worst game as a Cleveland Brown. By far. We got Myles Garrett back, though. He had a good game. We got a safety. That was our only scoring all game. What the hell, Baker Mayfield? Damn, son. We have a trade offer. You would give me a 3rd round pick. Interesting. Denzel Ward wants more money. That's fair. He is an elite cornerback. I don't really want Jonathan Williams, but I guess I'll look at him. But for right now, let me go to contract. Let's set his base salary at $19 million and see if that gets him to bite. Because I need him. He's incredible. He is the man. Yeah, let's kick this up to $19 million. And let's again make this like it's very heavily front loaded because I'm gonna have a lot of cap room next season. That'll make our life a bit easier. Now let's go to the trade screen. Is a 3rd round pick the best I can get for Kareem Hunt? That seems pretty likely, actually. Let's do it. I'm gonna make the deal. Most probably, I've got a lot more cap space now, which means I could acquire a player if I needed to. And let's go to the depth chart really quickly, and let's go ahead and set Demetric Felton as the number 2 back, and Jonathan Williams is the 3rd back. Are you any good, Jonathan Williams? I don't think you are. Okay, Baker, you better learn a shit ton from that last game, because that is not remotely acceptable. Okay, this is really bad, guys. He's thrown 8 interceptions in 2 games. Jarvis Landry had a great day, but... Guys, the interceptions are just too big a deal right now. I don't know which stat here controls throwing interceptions, but yeah, my dude, you need to stop. Like, really fast. If you have one more bad game, we're going to have to talk about getting rid of you. Okay, Baker being hurt maybe makes up for it a tiny sliver. But you threw 8 interceptions in 2 games. That's a lot. I guess you're missing Brian Durant, who's apparently your favorite receiver, but that's not a good excuse for throwing 8 interceptions in 2 games. We should be 3-1 right now, not 1-3, and Baker Mayfield is the reason why we are not. Okay, so we won the game. That's always good news. And Baker Mayfield didn't throw any interceptions, which is even better news. Estes got a pick. Okay, Estes is really impressing me as a defensive player. I'm really happy about how well he's done. Alright. So, this is now the time to decide whether we keep Baker Mayfield or not. Excellent news, my friend. Denzel Ward has returned to the Cleveland Browns. That is the very best of news. Good. So, we have a problem. It's a very, very gigantic problem. And that problem is that our quarterback is garbage. And because he's garbage, like, we're in serious danger of not making the playoffs. I know it's really early to say that. Like, you can be like, oh, it's week 1. How can you say that you're not going to make it? But, friends, the fact is, we just haven't been that great. If we check on stats, let's look at analytics. Analysis, here we go. He's getting picked off short. Interesting. That is very interesting to me, that he's getting picked off short. And yeah, I don't know what to tell you. If that's his issue, if he can't throw the ball short, it means he's getting jumped at the line. Someone's getting in his face. Who knows? The point is, though, that Baker Mayfield is holding us back. Now, 2 things are true. Baker Mayfield is the best quarterback on this roster, and Baker Mayfield is not good enough to be a starter. Let's really quickly check free agency. And let's see if there's an intriguing free agent quarterback that we could bring in. Wait, you fucking cut Patrick Mahomes. What? You're joking. Um, boy, that feels like cheating. It really feels like cheating to sign Patrick Mahomes. Like, nobody else has done it. Boy, that really feels like cheating. How do you get cut? I don't get it. I don't get how you get cut. Unless it's just the fact you cost so much money to keep. But like I cannot imagine a world in which the real life Patrick Mahomes ever got released for any reason. Boy, like friends, this really kind of has me in a pickle. And I think this episode is running a bit long anyway. So I'm actually going to turn it over to you in the comment section. Is signing Patrick Mahomes basically cheating? Because, and this may be something that I know that one commenter had pointed out, right? That sometimes they can't make cap. But I mean, yeah, I'm gonna need your help, friends. Going forward, we might go to more of an OTP schedule, and that'll either be the off season or the regular season, but not both, because I just think all this is going to get too long. But yeah, friends, let me know in the comments down below. It sure feels like cheating, but on the other hand, he probably got released at the beginning of the season, right? Well, look at the transaction log. And if we look at the Chiefs, yeah, they cut him in the preseason. So that means every other team in the league has had multiple chances to sign him. And they haven't. Yeah, that's bonkers, guys. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. If I should sign Patrick Mahomes or we think that's cheating. I'm really curious what you think about that. If I'm just trying to play like the most cutthroat game possible, of course I'd do it. But there's very clearly some things that are easy to exploit in this engine because of the way the salary cap is treated. And yeah, that's really interesting to me. So that's going to conclude this episode. I hope you all enjoyed the series thus far. Sorry to leave you on a bit of a cliffhanger, but this is going to really determine how I do the rest of this series. As far as when I sign free agents and when I don't. So let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time, this has been Avguardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.